Welcome to Under the Hood, presented by WholesaleCars.com, the podcast that pulls back the curtain on what really makes this buy here, pay here dealership tick. Here in Albertville, Alabama, WholesaleCars.com has been in the same spot since 1994, built on honesty, integrity, and excellence. And around here, the people are just as important as the cars. In each episode, you'll hear from industry professionals and the folks who make this place run, sharing real experiences from behind the counter, behind the scenes, and sometimes behind schedule. The goal? Transparency, a little humor, and a closer look at why this team does things differently. This is Under the Hood. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Under the Hood at WholesaleCars.com. Today we've got a little different episode. We're kind of taking a little break from kind of the technical aspects of the buy here, pay here world, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about kind of the why behind wholesale cars and why it exists. And a lot of people would say that it's primarily to sell vehicles, and don't get me wrong, they certainly do that and do it very well. But I think today we're going to talk about kind of more the deeper why and their approach, not just to the car buying experience, but also just to their approach to people and how people are treated here, and the respect and the attention to detail, level of excellence that they pour into this place and to their customers. So we've still got Gerardo here on my left, and then we got obviously owner here, Paul Claiborne is joining us as well. And so I know that there is a laundry list of things that Wholesale Cars is involved with as far as the community and really all of Marshall County, Alabama. If you're just now listening and maybe this is your first episode, WholesaleCars.com is based in Albertville, Alabama. You guys have been in the same location now since 94. Yeah, 94. So they take a little bit different
When
approach.
were you born, Gerardo?
I was born in 2003.
Oh, okay. So we've been here longer than
Gerardo's been
thought.
alive. But yeah, they really have been a staple in this community for a long time. And you just don't stay in one place and stay in business for that long unless you're doing something right.
That's right.
And
That's
so proud to be associated with these guys. And I think we're just going to take a little bit of a break and just talk about kind of more of the community involvement and not, I won't say just charitable contributions, but kind of more of the heart and soul of why that. You mentioned that this is a faith-based company on the previous episode.
Yes.
And I think that bleeds over into every aspect of this place.
It does.
So I just before we jump into kind of some different areas where you guys are involved in and other things, could you maybe just take us through your approach? And you said this is going to be a faith-based company. We focus on doing the next right thing, no matter what that is, even if that hurts.
Even if it hurts.
Even if that's
and
not.
Sometimes it does.
Right, sure. And even if it's not convenient.
Yep.
Seldom is the right thing to do also the easiest thing to do.
That's right.
Very seldom.
That's right.
So I guess could you just speak to that for just a minute on your approach from the faith-based aspect?
I got re-involved in church right after my son was born, and 26 years ago, and lived a life that was not too polished. Had a very colorful past that, I just soon forget, but I know where I came from, but at the same time, I have been so blessed. I don't know those that know I lost my son 6 years ago, and he was a student, his third-year accounting student at Auburn, and he lost his life in Auburn. He was hit by a train there, and but anyway, that was obviously very devastating. But you never forget that, but you still have to move on. And I had one employee to tell me once that I lost him on a Wednesday. I was back at work on Monday. And Shay's been with me pushing 20 years, and she said, how do you come back this quick? And I said, Shay, I've got two options. I can crawl in the corner and suck my thumb, or we can pick up and move on. That's what my son would want me to do. And that's what we did. And I finished up with this. I told her, I said, it could always be worse. And she's like me. I was my only child. And she's like me. She only has one daughter. And she paused and she said, how could it be worse? I have to laugh. Still get a little emotional talking about it, but so it could be worse. 4 days later, a friend of mine at Randy Ball came by from the Ford store, and he said one of his employees just lost their child, and we need money to help bury him. Hispanic couple. And see, I'll participate. I'd like to help with that. I said, what happened? And Shay's standing right there. It could always be worse. I said, what happened? He said he backed over his child in his truck.
Gosh.
No matter what you're going through, it can always be worse. Just remember that. So anyway, community involvement is, since I got back in church, is I just want to do for who I can, but at the same time, I still got to be firm with my business and not let people just run over you and do what they want to do. But we give back to the community here in a big way. One of the things that I enjoyed doing, and do they do junior achievement anymore, Taylor?
I'm not sure. I know that I used to teach it when I was, for those that don't know, I used to be full-time staff at a church here in Albertville.
Yeah.
Any excuse I had to go and try to teach and be around teenagers in a professional setting,
yes,
I tried to do that as much as I could. And junior achievement needed teachers, and sure, let's do it.
That's why I got involved in. I did junior achievement. You said you did Asbury as well.
Asbury and Albertville.
Yeah, I did Asbury, and anyway, so and I hear people say all the time, well, just give a little background on junior achievement. Mm-hmm. It is a program to where 9 weeks. Does that sound about right?
I think so.
Yeah, 9 weeks. We go into a classroom setting of 7th graders, and we have the curriculum material that we cover. We cover banking, insurance. What else, Taylor?
It's basically it's just a base level financial introduction.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much.
all it is. That's all it is.
You're learning the difference between a checking account and a savings account,
Yeah.
a debit card and a credit card, just very basic type things. But
those of us like you that had a dad around, you got taught that.
That's right.
And people will tell me, they say, well, their parents should teach them that.
Well, maybe they should.
They should, but I always go back to my thing is I was raised without a dad. What if they didn't have parents? Mm-hmm. Or if they had parents that their parents never told them. Mm-hmm. And you can only give what you got.
That's right.
And if you never got it, you're just at the mercy of what comes. Mm-hmm. And you may sit there thinking, well, this is a little counter to what he does. He sells cars to people with bad credit, and I do, because nobody else will do them. And the last time I checked, there is no subway here. There are no bus lines here, so they have to have a way of going, and we provide that in what we do here. But junior achievement, that was so gratifying, as I'm sure it was with you as well, that you see the light bulb come on in these kids' heads when you explain, and we live in a society today. I rarely use. I never use a debit card because I want it to hurt when I pay.
That's so funny that you say that.
Yeah.
I had a debit card when I was a teenager. My mom got me one when I was like 16, when I was old enough to drive.
Yeah.
And I purposely wouldn't go and activate the card.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this piece of plastic looks the same every time you use it.
Every time.
It doesn't get smaller
That's
or
right.
anything like that. And it's like,
That's right.
when you open up your wallet and you pull out cash, like, oh man, that hurts.
It's absolutely, and it does.
It does.
And that stack dwindles.
Yes.
As you use it. So I've never used a debit card, and my credit cards, I always pay them off at the end of the month because there's no charge when you pay it off at the end of the month.
That's right.
But just to see those kids, that was just so gratifying to do, and we're teaching them that there's a better way than paying 19% interest like you have to pay here if you don't have any credit. That's just the reality of it. But when they can get a toehold and get a leg up, they realize that, hey, there's a better way to do this. And I've had students to come back years after the fact. I did it for about 5 years after the fact, and say thank you. I learned so much in that class.
I mean, even just, I know that if I remember right, one of the exercises was to just have them just build a budget. Okay,
Yeah.
You have a job A. You work, doesn't matter where you work, but this is the amount of money you're bringing in every month.
Yeah.
Okay, so how much of that are you going to spend on your groceries? How
That's
much is
right.
going to gas? How much
That's
is going
right.
to your mortgage? Because do you live in an apartment? Do you rent? Do you all that type stuff? And to see them start crunching the numbers and go, oh man, this is cost more than I thought it did.
Yeah.
And just to teach them, like, look, do you want to buy a vehicle one day? Yeah, I'm going to buy me a new truck or
Yeah.
a new whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
how you going to buy that?
Yeah.
What
How
do you
you-
mean?
yeah.
Like, well, how are you going to buy it? Do you have enough money to just go and buy it? Well, no. Okay, well, how do you get credit? Well, I don't know. It's like, okay,
That's
well,
right.
we need to know how to earn, a credit score that will get you, where you can purchase a vehicle. So, so it was fun. I enjoyed it, and
Absolutely.
I wish. I don't know if it wasn't a thing or if it just wasn't offered where I went to school, but we didn't have it.
We didn't have it.
It's like it would have been nice if somebody had done that
No, we
when I
didn't.
was 14.
Yeah,
But,
and it was, but it's, and so many people, as you say, they want to buy that truck, and they've only got so much money coming in, and I always had a remedy when I need more money. I worked more, and that's what needs this. Today, we live in a culture where people want to work 5 days a week, and less than 8 hours a day in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
But ask for overtime. Take odd jobs. That's, of course, we'll get into that in a minute. But I do we'll have one this fall, and it'll fill up pretty quick. I'll do a Dave Ramsey class at this location. Again, that's countercultural to what we do here. Dave Ramsey doesn't like buy here, pay here operators.
Right.
But I'd like to have a.
well, he doesn't like most.
That's right.
You know.
The churn and burn ones and.
Right.
Yeah. But I think if I had 10 minutes, I could sell him on our program, on our value proposition at this store. But, Dave Ramsey does basically the same thing as junior achievement, but at a little higher level.
Yep.
And last year we had 14 in the class, and I'm going to do it again this year. It'll probably start in October. So if you want to come. But we've only got about 14 slots. But we can show you how not to waste your money.
Yep.
Now, money is a tool, and that tool is for spending. But don't waste it. I always told my son, and I tell my wife, I said, I don't mind spending money. Let's have something to show for
That's
it.
right.
Let's don't waste it.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think you hear the term thrown around all the time, multiple times a day, save money, save money, save
Yeah.
money, save money.
Yeah.
I have had to learn as a business owner,
Yeah.
like you just said, money is for spending.
It's for spending.
It is.
Yeah.
But you got to have something to show for
That's
what
right.
you've spent. And so that's the game.
Yeah.
If you can just go, hey, as a business owner, there's a piece of equipment. I mean, I've got cameras and audio equipment, all stuff around here. I'm going to need more of that stuff.
That's right.
So
That's right.
be smart.
And just like the money I pay you to do these podcasts,
Yep.
it's a lot of money.
Yep.
So not as much money as the guy out of Birmingham wanted, but it's still a lot of money.
That's right. Birmingham guy, stay out of here.
Yeah, stay out of here. Quit fishing in Taylor's Pond
That's
up
right.
here. But it's what value it brings. You've got to look at the value it brings. That's what we do every time we do this. It's we sell a lot of cars off from Facebook ads, little short ads that come from this podcast. But anyway, again, Junior Achievement, Dave Ramsey. We do scholarships at the local high schools, Albertville and Boaz. I don't think we did one in Gunners this past year. I think they just they forgot to call and ask us, I think.
Maybe.
But they're not huge scholarships, but it's something that'll pay, and we call it the Warren Claiborne Entrepreneurial Spirit Scholarship is what we call it after my late son. So, but anyway, we do those. Something else, Taylor, you may not know about. I had a lady to come by today. She said that, asked me about my calendar for June 8th or July 8th. It's on a Wednesday. She said, PALS, People Against the Illiterate State, want to give me an award for what I've done in this community, and which about 12 years ago, I guess, if you'll come to this facility, you'll see it's to the nines all the time, isn't it, Gerardo? And so we keep it spotless. We paint, we clean. Nothing gets dirty here.
Oh, yeah.
That's the OCD that I was born with, which is a good thing if you're in this business. But I woke up one day and I thought, well, gosh, we pay a guy to come mow our yard. I said, why not pay a guy to come by and pick the trash up in front of our car lot out here? So I got the idea and I thought, wow, what if I got all the car dealers participating? We could clean this stretch up from Boaz to the city limits of Gunnersville on 431. And you can say what you want to about car dealers, but in 20 minutes, I had called and got commitments from 7 new car stores in this area of, I think it was $1,200 a year, $100 a month, basically. Yeah. And then I thought, wow, that was easy. So I decided, let's call my banks. We called the banks. The banks said, yeah, we'll do that. And then we called some fast food places. And unfortunately, out of all of them, and they contribute to more trash than anybody does, we had one. But the bankers and the car dealers decided that was a good idea. And it was 10 or 12 years ago. To this day, we still have a company that comes by and we pay them about, I think we've got so many people involved now, it's $1,000 a month. And we pay them once a month. And they'll collect about 40 bags of trash on the 431 corridor that starts at Boaz and ends at Gunnersville. And we like to keep Albertville beautiful.
Yeah.
And I do that from, a little bit of a selfish standpoint too, because it helps your property values.
Sure, absolutely.
It helps everybody's property values. But anyway, they want to give me an award, and so that's to recognize me, and we're going to. And I'll say it here. It was Wayne Bentley at Howard Bentley GMC. It was let me go up the highway. It was Jason Holland and Ricky Young at CDR, the Chrysler Dodge store here. Yep. It was Gilbert and Ball Ford. It was Mark Bricky at the Toyota store. It was Greenway at the Nissan store. They all said yes. And I got a few. Shannon Brown at Brown's Car Mart. He does basically what I do. He participated. So, but anyway, I was the one that got the ball rolling on that. And anyway, that's a good thing. And hopefully long after I'm gone, that'll continue, so.
Oh, it's cool. There's a guy by the name of, gosh, I cannot think. He's was, I don't think he is anymore, pastor at Willow Church in Illinois. And we saw him at Catalyst Conference.
Willow Creek? Is that who
Not Willow Creek, it's just called Willow.
Okay.
But it's in like central Illinois.
Yeah.
Bill Hybels, that's his name.
Bill Hybels, yeah. Willow Creek. I thought it was Willow Creek.
It may be Willow
Yeah.
Creek. I'm thinking of Huntsville, Willowbrook. It is Willow Creek.
Willow Creek,
You're
yeah.
right.
Hybels is...
Yep, you're right. But at his, he was speaking at Catalyst one year, and
A long time ago, I'm assuming.
probably 12 years ago.
Yeah.
something like that.
He's
been out for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it probably was about 12 or 13 years ago. But he and Andy Stanley were on stage, and Stanley just asked him just some questions, just kind of like a setting like this, and he mentioned something about God speaking to people. Do you think God still does that? Do you think God still speaks, to people and give them visions and goals and aspirations and things like that? And he said, not only do I think that God does that, I think he does it hundreds of thousands of times every day.
Yeah.
But he said, I think if you can imagine this being a candle, I think God speaking to somebody is lighting the wick. It's like, but we snuff it out before anyone else knows about it. The only people that know about it is you and God.
That's right.
And he'll speak to you, and you'll go, well, that's a really crazy idea. Oh, gosh, no, we could never do that. And you snuff it out. And he said, I think that happens hundreds of thousands of times.
I believe that.
And so something as simple as that idea that you had right there is a situation where you could have snuffed that thing out. And nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
But instead, go,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'll take 30 minutes out of my day to make a few phone calls.
Yeah. And it was so easy.
And 12 years down the road.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a really cool
It's
story.
just so easy. But it's and we pick about 3 times a year on Chalicee Road in Gunnersville. It's 5 miles, and 3 times a year. You've never done that with me. Why? Anyway, I get 3 employees to go with me, and we pick up trash on that 5 miles of road.
Mm-hmm.
And I get to spend some time with my employees talking about their faith and what's going on in their lives, and time that I'm so busy up here, I wouldn't get that much time to spend with them. But we did that about 3 weeks ago and picked up about 15 bags of trash there. They typically pick up 40 or 50 bags out here when it's out here. But it's just
crazy.
Pride, just excellence. We like excellence up here. We not to say we're excellent, but we strive for excellence.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that same conference there, Andy Stanley talked about just kind of being overwhelmed by trying to do so much. If you take a step back and you look at the whole world, the whole planet, and you're like, my gosh, like where do I even start?
Yeah.
I only have this much talent. I only have this much money, and
this much bandwidth.
Yes, like where do I even go with that? And his quote for that was, "Do for one what you wish you could do for all." Mm-hmm. Just if everybody took that mentality and said, "I'm just going to,"
instead of letting, the government's supposed to do it. Yeah, the government's supposed to do a lot of stuff, but why not take the initiative? What was it that John F. Kennedy says? I think it was, "Don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." And I just think to be a community if you're involved in your community, just doing, again, the next right thing. And,
That's right.
And I've been so blessed with health and financial stability and, working with young men like Gerardo and trying to mold them and shape them and whack them into shape. It's very gratifying.
Does he do that?
Yep.
No, and it's like I said. I mean, not to harp on this too much, but I do think there's something to the fact that there's a lot of people. I mean, I know Brett's been here a long time. Gerardo's has. You said that there's a few service techs that have been here for over a decade.
Yeah.
I mean,
you always what I always did, and if I'm doing business with any business, I'm going to look at why people are still working there. Mm-hmm. And naturally we have some to come and go. How long have you been here, Gerardo?
Just over 4
Yeah.
years.
We have some to come and go, but naturally that's going to be part of it. But it's just, when you're doing business, I don't care if you're buying a car or, at a hardware store, go to a place where they've got long-term employees, and because what you know at that point, that those people have character, because if they didn't, they'd already got caught doing something that they shouldn't do, and if they weren't upholding the standard of excellence that we have here, they wouldn't be here. So it's just it's very gratifying to work with this organization, these people, and of course I'm getting to the age now that, gosh, I've got 3 or 4 people that may be close to retirement, and I'm not ready to retire yet.
Yeah,
I'm not.
For sure. Well, I mean, and it's cool for you to say that about your employees. It's also a completely different level when your employees say the same thing about you and about this place, about them, about each other.
Yeah.
So that's, you have guys that are willing to work with each other and happy to show up every day and on time and all those sort of things. So I know one thing that we kind of mentioned off camera that you're involved in, and it's personal to me because I have someone who's directly affected by it, but you contributed to, you guys aren't local around here. There's a new inclusive playground that was built on the campus of First Baptist Albertville. It's called the Maker's Child Playground, and it's specifically it's for everyone. Any kids, any families can go there, but it was with the intention of being a playground that is safe for kids with special needs. My youngest is 6 years old, and he's level 2 autistic. And so having a space that we can take him and let him just do his thing, man, let him run wild and scream and squeal and play and all that. We actually had his birthday party there a couple weeks ago because he loves it up there. And there's been a whole lot of businesses that contributed to the success and that being there. But I mean, Wholesale Cars was one of them. So on a personal level, I appreciate that.
And that it is, again, that's another of those things so gratifying to do, and especially when I hear a story like yours that wow, we made a difference.
Oh, for sure. And, not to get off the rails too bad here, but autism is something that is becoming much more prevalent, something you didn't really see 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And now it seems like, I can't remember what the statistics are in front of me, but it actually affects females more than males. Mm-hmm. There's a higher autism rate among young girls than there is boys, but it is becoming, more and more prevalent, and with that becomes greater need, for care and for even places, facilities like that for families to go. And the Maker's Child, just a shout out to them, a wonderful organization. They provide respite nights for families with.
Now, and again, let's dissect that word respite. Mm-hmm. That is a word that it's basically rest.
Rest, that's right.
Because if you're dealing with a special needs child or a a homebound person that that requires care all the time,
There's not much rest.
There's not much rest,
No.
and that respite is that's a big deal.
It is, and they've got a kind of a circuit of churches, that are all participants in Maker's Child, and they may host that respite night at their church, and then the next month it may be at a different church, and then they have the playground there too, which they offer once a month, respite nights there. So it gives you a chance to have your child that is special needs. They can go and know that they will be cared for. They're going to have fun. They're going to be engaged with for a couple hours while you and your spouse go on a date. Go eat dinner, go to the movies.
A break.
Just get a break, and then a couple hours, go pick them back up.
Because it's not like you just can't drop that child with those special needs and just any sitter.
No, and
can't do it.
I mean, even again, I'll get off this in a minute, but even something as simple as a Bible study.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to have Bible study Thursday night, 6:00. You guys should come over. We've got childcare. Like, okay, you probably do have childcare. If it's a 16-year-old girl watching 5 typical kids, that's fine.
That's fine.
It's not a big deal.
That's right.
No offense. I don't think that we can drop our kid off there. You know what I mean? It just doesn't
work.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
So it's huge. Those things are big. But anyway, I just wanted to give them and you, commend you for participating in that, because it's much appreciated.
Tell us, Gerardo, about Customer Appreciation Day.
Well, Customer Appreciation Day is probably the biggest thing we do here, right? I think this whole time we've been talking about the why we do things, right? Why we contribute to those scholarships, why we contribute to stuff like the Maker's Child Playground. And really, at the root of it, I'm sure you'd agree with me, is because, we care about the community.
We absolutely we do.
And whenever we do...
This community's been good to us.
Yeah, the community has been good to us. So, we're giving back. And whenever we do these things, right, whenever we pour back into the community, right, it shows the level of care we have for people, right? And that, that trickles down all... I think it starts with what we do for the community, right? That trickles down into the cars that we sell, right? The level of care we take to making sure that those cars are good cars, the level of care that we give towards the customer and make sure they have a above average, right? A good feeling buying experience.
Experience,
right?
Yeah.
And all of those things trickle down, but Customer Appreciation Day is the day that we give back to our customers, right? I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have somewhere around 1,300 active accounts.
Yeah.
We have somewhere around 1,300 active accounts, and on Customer Appreciation Day, which is the second Saturday or third Saturday of September, we do a whole party here, right? We provide food, we give out T-shirts, we have a bouncy house for the kids, all of that good stuff, right? It's just a whole time for everybody.
Door prizes.
Yeah, door prizes. It's a whole time for everybody to feel good and come together. And the biggest thing of all, we give one lucky customer $10,000 off of their car.
Yeah.
Right?
Whoa.
And
Yeah.
The amount of times you can't ever get over the way that they look, right? I think...
Because I think a lot of them think it's not real.
Yeah.
To start
I mean,
with.
that sounds
Yeah.
almost too good to be true right there. That's crazy.
The past couple or few ones that I've seen, I don't think the winner has had a dry eye when it happens, and it's just it's so gratifying. It's gratifying to see it. It feels good. You're not even winning the $10,000, but it feels good just to see the person.
To know that you're part of an organization that could do that.
Yeah.
That has the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm. And so it's the biggest thing that we do for our customers. Everybody has a blast. We have a blast doing it, and I think this year will be 24 years that you've done it, and I think it's something great.
Taylor, we started out paying people's cars off, and early on I got hit with some big ones. 17 or 18,000. And I said, nah. So we put we put a ceiling on it. And one year we're going to give away 10,000. So one year we drew out 3 different names, and their balances were small enough to where, it totaled 10,000, which is what we did. And they were, that was a big day.
Yeah.
And you just got to be here to win. We want to come and feed you. We typically draw out of the 1,300 accounts. We typically draw out 10 or 12 names before they're here.
Last year it was crazy. I think we drew out 25 names.
25 names that weren't here.
Way.
And again, you're thinking, if you've been here, that's $10,000, and all you had to do is come have lunch.
Yeah.
and obviously get in our photo op with the drone.
Sure.
That's what we want. That's what we're after.
Sure.
So
that's awesome.
But anyway, a lot of people say, "Well, how do you do that?" Well, I'd rather spend that $10,000 there is spend it on TV or radio.
That's right.
It's a flash in the pan. This way, these people, we do a golf check and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
No, that's awesome.
But they shared the video that lady that won. Like I say, that's very, very gratifying when you see that happen.
Oh yeah.
So. Another thing I just came to mind here. There's an organization in town. You don't know where it's at. I know where it's at. I couldn't tell you, but it's called Kelly's Rainbow. You ever heard of it?
I have. Yep.
Kelly's Rainbow is an organization that takes in battered women. And if you didn't know it or not, some men like to beat women up.
Not men.
Yeah, not men. That's exactly right.
Scumbags.
That's right. Not men. Not men. And back in the day, they got tar and feathered when they got caught doing that, but we don't do that anymore.
No.
But anyway, I support that pretty substantially every year with a check because, again, I was raised in a single-parent home, and my dad was abusive, and so that's pretty close to me. But they do good work at that place, really good work.
Yeah, I know someone who used to work there, left for a while, and now is back.
Back there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And great people.
Yeah.
Great people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess the big one that people wouldn't think about that we're involved in here, and I've been involved in this ministry for 25 years, is Kairos Prison Ministry. And that's where we actually go into a maximum security prison surrounded by murderers, rapists. It's maximum security. They're there. The only thing that's any more secure is, I think, Holman's a death row camp, I think. There are no death row inmates at St. Clair, but lots of people that committed murder. But anyway, I got involved in that 25 years ago, and the reason I did, we finance people up here that have been in prison before. They've had problems before, and they need a chance. And we go in and share Jesus Christ with them, and it's a real neat weekend. And the next one is coming up in October. That I'll be. They do 2 a year, and I participate in one. But for 10 weeks, you train. Have you ever worked one?
I haven't.
You do. You play instruments, don't you?
Not very well, but a little.
But anyway, it's we train for 10 weeks going into that place because we want, when we get there, we want to see our team that's got 40 or 50 men on it. We want the inmates to see that we're aligned, that we're here because of Jesus Christ. And we want them to see that. And when we go in that first night on a Thursday night, they're like, are these guys for real? Just standoffish. And by the end of the weekend on Sunday, they're hugging your neck and crying, because we feed them We feed them. We share the gospel. We feed them 3 big meals a day, all home cooked, and we serve them 22,000 dozen cookies.
Ooh.
So it's a pickup truck load of, and not store-bought Chips Ahoy. These are.
I'm gonna do some math. I gotta know what that is.
Yeah. These are homemade cookies, and we will have throughout that weekend. You'll have black gang members hugging white gang members, and the recidivism rate in St. Clair is way down since we got involved in that prison ministry, since Kairos has been there. Kairos is a worldwide prison ministry, but it's just another thing that we just don't sell cars here.
No, I know Nelson McClure.
Nelson's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, at our church, and he, along with a few other guys from Life Point, I know they're heavily involved in Kairos.
Absolutely. Nelson he'd been involved in it. He's been in it longer than I have. I think he'd done a couple before I got there.
I got you.
And he really believes in it. And I met, I've got a friend that I met there 25 years ago. And for all you young people or you parents that have young people, try to remember this, that this friend of mine that's in that prison, he did murder. He participated in a murder, and he went in when he was 19. He's been there 37 years, and he got life without parole. So he's never, well, I say he's never. God can do anything that he wants to do, but we're working behind the scenes trying to get him some relief because it's certainly a waste of all the players are dead now. You know, the family members and nobody's say, hey, no, don't let him out. He's a threat. If he gets out, he's coming to work right here. But that's the kind of that's what we do here. We give people second chances, and that's what I want everybody out there to know, that's what we do. If your credit's goofed up, people say, well, my credit's bad. I don't care if your credit's bad. The main thing is to keep and hold the same job for over a year. So many, especially young people, just job hop from job to job, and then they wonder why somebody like me, more or less not, and certainly not a bank, will loan you any money because you have no stability. You've got to have stability to get a loan. But anyway, that's not all we do, but that's some of the things that just came to mind that we participate in.
Sure. Well, and then there's countless others that are, not documented or, those sort of things. Just because I've gotten to know you, I know that even through your church, there have been moments where there may not be necessarily a title or a name attached to it. But I know through the Giving Hope that Christmas event that CRC had, I think there was a lady here that you just were able to get her some transportation.
Yeah, we got her a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that. We had, and that is an excellent program. I never, Highlands Church does it all. I'd never done it, but it was, you were there filming.
I did. I filmed it. Yeah. Did the whole thing. It was awesome.
And this lady, obviously you run into different needs there. Anyway, this lady was, her sister was having to carry her to work back and forth, and she had, and I when I met her, Susie Dearman introduced her to me and said, "You need to meet this lady." So I met her, and anyway, so she says she's telling me about her predicament, and I thought, wow. I reached in my pocket. I was going to give her a couple of $100 bills, and the Holy Spirit No, no, that's not enough. That's not enough. And we gave her a car, a good car. Mm-hmm. And the reason we did that is because, again, stability. I got to asking her some questions, and she'd been working at KFC.
Gunnersville.
Right? Yeah. And a nice black lady that, we're all racist. All white people are racist. Right. I get tired of hearing that. But anyway, so we got her that car, and gosh, she cried and cried and cried. And I told her, I said, now if it breaks, you bring it back up here. Don't let anybody else work on it. And I explained to her, I think I've said this in here before, that car's not made to drive to Birmingham or Atlanta at 100 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. It's back and forth to work. And she's honored that. And she hadn't been back up here. Apparently hadn't broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. But there's, we were looking for podcast material today, and somebody thought, let's talk about what we do in the community. And I'm not one to pat myself on the back. We do a lot of stuff that nobody knows about.
Right.
And that's, Scripture tells us don't let the left hand know what the right hand's doing.
I was about to say, it's biblical, though.
Yeah, it is biblical.
I had a similar scenario, a guy that has been instrumental in just mentoring me and kind of pouring into me. They moved here originally from Indiana, but at the time they were in North Carolina and moved here. And he has a basketball ministry called Inbounds Ministries, and he would just use basketball as the platform to share the gospel. And he found out about just my glory days, I guess. At the time, I was much younger then, but I think when he moved in, I was 24 or 5 or something like that, and I was still playing a good bit. And we just hit it off. He's full-time ministry. I think he started his ministry in 2001 and went full-time 2007. Yeah. And anyways, long story short, I ended up going to the Dominican Republic with him, with a bunch of guys I'd really never met. I took a few students with me. We went to the Dominican with the intention of, not that there's anything wrong with any of these, but just a lot of times when you think mission work, you think women and children.
That's right.
That's the emphasis.
That's right.
And he told me straight up, said, we're going down here
for the men.
Men. Is it because if anything is going to change,
it's got to start with the men.
Yes, it has to start there. And there is such a high population of orphan children there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kids that literally just live on the street.
Yeah.
They have no parenting. And so, anyways, but we go down there for that, and the intention was to target the men of that area through basketball, share the gospel, see if we can.
And they see big old guys playing basketball and loving Jesus.
Yes.
That's real men.
Yeah. We shared the gospel at halftime.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get off the rails, but the goal was we're going to go down there and play with them, a few of us with a few of them, and we'll split up and we'll all play and we'll whatever. Well, they didn't want any part of that. It was
us against you.
Us against you. We this is like the Olympics. You know what I mean? Of course, not really, but they wanted to take down the Americans on the basketball court.
Did they beat you?
They did not. That's the claim to fame right there. USA, baby. No, we did a kind of like a best of 3 type series, and we'd been on a plane all day and had not eaten and all that kind of stuff. And so they got us not one or game 1. Then we got to eat and got to go to sleep, and then we got them the next day. Yeah. But these are grown men, and they're trying to win, all that kind of stuff. But we shared the gospel at halftime of that game, and like 25 grown men accept Jesus at halftime basketball game, and clearly explain to them, if anything's going to change here, you're going to be the ones to change it. This starts with you. And so, but all that to say, the guy that led up that trip, he had a few years after that trip, got diagnosed with throat cancer. Had surgery, radiation, chemo, lost an unrecognizable amount of weight. I mean, the pictures just still like kills me.
Yeah.
Seeing the pictures of him. God brings him through that. He kind of gets back on his feet and is still doing ministry, still traveling all over the place, ends up having a few small, minor strokes here and there, and then has a massive stroke, and he's currently still trying to figure out mobility and walking and just being independent and that sort of thing, and that's gone on for a couple of years now. But the same thing, like I need to do something. Yeah, and I had an amount of money in my head that I thought we might be able to send him, and God said that's not enough. And so
that Holy Spirit will speak to you sometimes.
Yeah, so we sent more, but
when that's not enough.
No, and my wife didn't. I told her, "Hey, I'm sending him some money," and that's all I said. Yeah. And then when it came to be tax time, stuff, my wife was like, "You didn't tell me you sent him that much." And I was like, I felt like I had to. I felt like I could not.
You got to have that antenna up for the Holy Spirit.
Yes,
it's got to be up.
And that's not a pat on the back by any stretch. It was not. It was not a lot of money.
You're not a pat on the back type guy either.
But I just think that there are situations like that go on here that no one knows about.
That's right.
And
it does. It does. It does. And it's like I said, we've been blessed. It's fun to do, and how we went time wise, where we at?
50 minutes.
Yeah, that's all I've got today. But anyway, I just today's podcast just to talk about that. Hey, we're community oriented, and with kids, with people in prison, with abused women. With trash,
faith-based.
It's just again. Pastor buddy of mine told me years ago, and I never forgot it. What's the next right thing to do? Whatever the next right thing is, you'll know it.
Yep.
You'll just know the next right thing to do. You'll know if it's right or wrong.
Yep.
To do it. But anyway, hey, you guys tune back in with us next time, and we'll bring you. Some more education in the car buying field.
That's right. Yeah, and real quick before we jump off here, just want to commend you. Probably know it was probably not very easy for you to share that about your son.
No. I'm to the point I cry and laugh at the same time.
I did not know that, and so I know that probably took a lot, and appreciate you just being willing to share that. But But yeah, you guys stick around. We may learn you something about this stuff.
Yeah, y'all, as I used to say on the Beverly Hillbillies, y'all come back now.
Yep. We'll see you guys on the next one.